All right, guys. Hey, this is Patdees, and welcome to 12 Minutes with today's guest is Craig, also known as Landshark Picker. Welcome, Craig.
Appreciate it, Pat. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. I wanted to do, and I really put a lot of thought in wanting to do this because as I've done interviews and stuff in the past, what I'm finding is a lot of times people don't want to give up an hour and a half to kind of get to know the person. And really, when you kind of think about it, that you talk to, when you watch these talk shows and stuff like that, a lot of people are only on 10 or 15 minutes at a time anyway. So
there's a lot of fluff. It's a lot of waiting on people to come in and welcome.
Craig, let me ask you, where did the name Landshark Picker come from?
You had to go there. No, I'm kidding. I'm an Ole Miss fan, University of Mississippi, and their defense for many years has been called the Landshark defense. They were out sniffing blood and trying to make plays. And I've been a big Ole Miss fan for a long time. And when I first got on YouTube watching the reseller community, even before I started watching reseller content and got into reselling, really, I just had a regular email address that was my primary email address, and watched a lot of content, stuff like that. But when I decided to make my own content, I'm like, I need a brand. I need something that's going to identify me other than my name, and just racked my brain for a couple of days and finally said, hey, I'm an Ole Miss fan, and I decided to go with that. Everybody's a picker, a hustler, a whatever,
Right. In the reselling community.
Right.
So basically it's a football reference.
Pretty much. Yes.
Yeah.
There is a Landshark lager, which is a beer. Not really, it wasn't driven off of that. I'm trying to think if there's any other references to that. It was just pretty much the Landshark defense from Ole Miss.
Now, how long have you been doing YouTube?
Gosh, I'd have to look back. I've been in the reselling community as a viewer for 3 or 4 years, almost 4. Let me think. About 4 years. Started doing content a year and a half ago, maybe almost, I guess.
Okay.
About the same time you did.
Okay. Well, that's about right. I found Scott the Bearded Picker back in December 2018, and then I think I came on his show around January, and then really started kind of. I remember I was like at 100 subs. Actually, it was funny. Now I was thinking about it, and it was around this time last year, about another week, that you and several other YouTubers helped me get past 1,000. Because a year ago at this time, I was at about 909. Actually, that day, I would remember I was at 911. And you, Kimmy, Anita, Todd, Todd was involved.
Yeah, there were a group of us. I know Kelly was in there.
Mama was involved. That, that's one thing, too. And as while we're doing this, is I have 2 screens set up. Yeah. And I kind of, what I did is I downsized now the screen, and I have it centered here to kind of, you always, I think you kind of, it's funny because in the movies, they tell you, don't look at the camera. Camera guy knows how to kind of follow you. But when you're doing a talk station or news, or basically like you're doing, you got to kind of look in the camera, but what you catch yourself is watching the chat or looking to see what you're doing at times, and not, realizing that how much effort is put into doing YouTube.
It takes a little work to get things situated. I need to get a webcam. I'm gonna get one of the Logitechs, I think, at some point. It's just the quality of this camera is great. It's just in an awkward position because it's on my smaller screen on my laptop, and I've got 2 larger screens on the side right here. So just like you're talking about.
How is it? You live in what, Alabama?
In Alabama, yes. Everything we didn't go through a full shutdown.
Okay.
There were a lot of places, your Walmart was still open. It got to the point where they'd only let so many people in. Things are starting to open back up. A lot of things did shut down, but the primary things, my daughter worked at a Dollar Tree, and they stayed open. All the gas stations were open. There was always a lot of traffic. We've gotten to the point now with the rioting that's going on now that they put up some curfews in certain cities. You have to be in at a certain time.
Yeah. It was funny. I saw something on Facebook the other day. They showed where people broke in or broke stores and looted. They broke the windows at the Dollar Tree, but they never stole anything. So they weren't going after the dollar items. They were going after the high, people scooping in 6 pairs of shoes and running out and stuff like
They're
that.
going after the iPhones and the
Yeah.
MacBooks and
The I guess the expensive stuff that they figure that they can always buy a dollar candy bar or a shower curtain at the Dollar Tree, but the $100 pair of sneakers they were
right.
you know.
Yeah, it's had a pretty big effect across the whole world, really. But
Oh yeah.
here my wife works at a hospital. She's been there almost a year now, and it was supposed to be one of the first fully digital hospitals in our state. It didn't end up making that, but I have to take her in a certain entrance. She comes out of a certain comes out that same entrance. It's pretty much on lockdown. They're still not letting visitors in.
Now, Craig, if somebody meets you and this says, I think what do you do for a living? What do you tell people?
My default answer, because I've been in the industry so long, I've been in the computer industry for 25 years. I'd tell them I'm a computer programmer, but
okay.
That's that. I think I do that more out of a habit.
Yeah.
Because I still do some of that on the side.
It's hard to explain. Like, people will ask me, what I do, and I say, well, I sell on eBay and I sell on Amazon, but you actually don't get many questions about it. Once in a while someone will throw out, well, what do you sell?
Right.
And but they're kind of like, I don't know. It just seems one of those things that they're unsure about.
Right. I bet if you said I sell on Macari or I sell on Poshmark, they would probably understand exactly what you're saying, because so much of that is in the media now.
Yeah, I don't know, because perception sometimes about I just remember recently I sold an item on Amazon and I was out of a good fresh box. So I used an eBay box, and do you know that customer reached out to me and said, I didn't buy from eBay, I bought from Amazon, I want my money back. And wow. I reached out to another reseller that resells on Amazon, and I didn't know this. He said to me, yeah, when you send a box, it can't have no logo on it except for a priority box.
Right.
But when you ship, obviously UPS, you need a plain brown
and Amazon
box.
has set that expectation with their customers. They're very much a customer centric, a customer first, business. Not that eBays and all that are not, but they really focus on that. You can return something, you can say I never got something, no proof, no nothing, and you're getting a refund.
I know, trust me, and sometimes it's coming off the backs, which I filed an appeal last night off of something that a customer doesn't even want to give me proof, claiming they don't have a camera, a cell phone. And I'm like, what person doesn't have a cell phone or access to even, your neighbor, somebody? I think basically they got this food product that I sold and they just didn't like it. And basically, want to kind of use me to taste test it and then get their money back. And, it's not fair to people like me that, I paid close to $19,000 in fees in Amazon the last 3 months. Let them give the money off their end instead of taking it from me. It's they're making money too. But let me ask you, what are the platforms that you sell on, Craig?
Been about the same timeline as you on eBay, starting in the late 90s, early 2000s, I guess. I've not sold, since then. I started then, and I sold about a year and a half. Took a break as really pushing stuff on eBay. Really got back into eBay about 4 years ago. I sell pretty much full time on eBay since then. Amazon, I started selling on Amazon in either 2006 or 2009. I'd have to look back at one of the sales reports and see. I don't remember which year it was. My big thing I've sold on eBay, Amazon, has been books. I sold a lot of CDs back in when I first got started. What else? I've sold on Poshmark. When I had the morning show, I talked so bad about Poshmark, and I didn't like it. But Poshmark is treated me pretty well in the last couple of months.
Wow.
I've cross posted some books over there. I've sold a good bit of clothing. I also sell on Macari. Macari, if you give Macari attention, just like Poshmark, it's good as well.
Yeah.
I sell a good bit on Facebook Marketplace when I get exercise equipment. I know I've talked about that in the past.
I
don't do as much on Facebook. That's the primary thing I sell on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
The onesie, twosie. I'm not going to list shirts and
No.
CDs and all that on Facebook Marketplace. It's not worth my time to mess with meeting somebody over an $8 CD. This is now offering shipping. I don't know if everybody gets it. I've had it for a handful, about 6 months now. If I sell things there, I can offer to ship it to the customer.
Yeah, I've seen that.
They do the same kind. They do the same kind of thing as Amazon. They hold your money. You get paid once a month, I think it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On Facebook, you're talking about now, Craig?
Yep, they've got a payment system in place.
Okay, now I just bought a case of baseball cards from a guy in New Jersey, and I had figured it out. It would have been about an hour and 40 minutes one way, and I said to the guy, "Hey, for $25, can you just ship it to me?" Craig, I do appreciate you coming on here, and I had messaged you yesterday and said, "Hey, look, we're going to do this. Come on anytime." And you just got home not too long ago and stuff, and so come.
I've got a 12-year-old son, and he loves going to the ball game. We've been to the break.
I love it too. We go down to Philadelphia, and what is your National League team down there?
The Braves. The Braves is our closest one. Let me think. We've got
okay, is it Atlanta Braves?
Yeah, we've got two minor league teams. We've got one in Montgomery that's the Montgomery Biscuits.
Okay.
I think they're tied to the Tampa Bay Rays, and then we've got the Birmingham Barons that are here in town.
Okay.
And they're a White Sox organization, I believe, still.
Okay, the minor league. How about football down there? I mean, I hear everybody talk about the college football.
In the South, it's very much college football.
Yeah.
Whereas I think in the North and anything north of down here is, big into the pro sports. We've got pro sports down here. I mean, we've been to one or two Saints games, which is about 4.5, 5 hours south of us.
Ask you, Craig, before we end this interview, do you have anything coming up that you want to push or promote that's coming up on your channel, or some new ideas that you want to talk about?
Some with some smaller channels, some with some people that a lot of people already know.
Right.
But I'm gonna start reaching out to some more of those smaller channels. I don't know if you saw it or you were around. I did one with Lorena. She's from Waco, Texas. She's Sweet Texas Finds.
Oh, okay.
Little small channel, about 100 subs now. She was at like 40 or 50 subs when I found her. Just like you were talking about how we helped you get over your 1K hump. At that point, I had a lot of help in my YouTube life, and I like going out and kind of passing that torch on and helping other people.
Well, one thing that I have learned, and just because we want to do YouTube, it doesn't mean that you can't. Like, I've found a lot of great people that don't do YouTube but are brilliant in business. They're smart. You can network. You can learn from them. I just wish sometimes we could bring them on an interview and do things, just because not everybody, the viewers that watch this, have to be YouTube content creators, because they're watching us wanting to learn, looking for answers, how to be an entrepreneur, or be a reseller, or come up with some idea. I mean, look, when the COVID-19 happened, some people were great at sewing, and they started selling masks.
Right.
And they started doing those type of things, where before they never would have done that. And that's why I enjoy doing this, because I'm still a young man yet, and I want to. Part of my plan is to still get back out on the road there and meet people, and do these interviews and stuff. I'm hoping. I haven't met Craig yet, but I've been down to Tennessee. How far are you from Nashville?
3.5 hours, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's not a bad drive. I've been up there a couple of times.
Yeah. Well, maybe in the future sometime you could come to a reseller meetup.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, I want to thank everyone for watching today. And Craig, you want to say anything before we go, bud?
I appreciate him having me on, Pat.